Hi everyone, I was taking a photography course in summer in Italy and I just finished my final portfolio. And today I want to talk about this shooting technology I just learned. There are three important factors in shooting a picture: the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO. First, let's talk about the shutter speed. Shutter speed, or you can call it exposure time, is the length of time when the film or digital sensor inside the camera is exposed to the light. Also, when a camera's shutter is open when taking a photo, the amount of light that reaches the film or image sensor is proportional to the exposure time. Exposure value is a quantity that accounts for the shutter speed and the f number. Once the sensitivity to the light of the recording surface is set in numbers expressed in ISOs, for example 2000 ISO and 4000 ISO, the light is emitted by the sense photographed. It can be controlled through the aperture and shutter speed to match the film or sensor sensitivity to light. This will achieve a good exposure when the details of the sense are illegible on the photograph. Too much light let into the camera results in an overlay pen image, or you can call it overexposure, while too little light will result in an overlay dark image, or you can call it underexposure. An aperture is a hole or an opening through which light travels. More specifically, the aperture and focal length of an optical system determine the cone angle of a bundle of rays that come to a focus in the image plane. If an aperture is narrow, then highly compacted rays are emitted, resulting in a sharp focal at the image plane. A wide aperture emits uncollimated rays, resulting in a sharp focus only for the rays coming from a certain distance. This means that wide aperture resulting in an image that is sharp for things at the correct distance. The aperture also determines how many the incoming rays that are actually emitted, and thus how much light reaches the image plane. An optional system typically has many openings or structures that limit the ray boundaries. These structures may be the eagle of a lens, a mirror, or a ring, or other fixture that holds an optical element in place. Or many may be a special element such as a diaphragm placed in the optical paste to limit the light admitted by the system. In general, these structures are called stops. And the ISO. In digital photography, I also mentioned the sensitivity of an image sensor. The same principle applies as in film photography. The lower the number, the less sensitive your camera is to the light, and the finer the grain. The ISO was the indication of how sensitive a film was to the light. It was mentioned in numbers, such as 100, 200, 400, and 800, which I just mentioned before. The lower the number, the lower the sensitivity of the film and the finer the grain in the shoots you are taking. Higher ISO settings are generally used in dark saturation to get faster shutter speed. For example, an indoor sports event when you want to freeze the action in lower light. However, the higher the ISO you can choose is the noisier shot you will get. Now, with these three factors, you can take more professional photo. And thank you. That's all. for today. Bye.